Welcome to another episode of Life and Whiskey. As always, I'm Jordan, and today we are going to look at very old Barton. Picked this up in Billings, Montana for $17 even. Um, this was one of those ones that I was just kind of going along. And I'm like, oh, can't find that where I live, so I picked it up. A 90 proof whiskey for $17. Not gonna argue about that ever, really. Um, it's bottled by Barton Distilling Company. So Barton, you'll know, makes 1792 products. What else do they got? 10 High is another Barton product. So 10 High is one of those bottom shelf ones. Whiskey under $10. Actually, not a bad whiskey. I highly encourage you to go check that out as well. But bumping up from the 10 High at 80 proof, we're going to bump up to 90 proof here. Yeah, no. Does it have an age statement? I don't even think it hit. Really? Wow, no age statement. So at least 4 years old. So there you go. So an NAS, so a 4-year-old 90 proof whiskey for $17, or at least 4 years old. It might be a touch older. Who knows? Um, those are types of things. Sidebar here. Okay, so had a couple of reviews so far on an empty stomach. This is 12:30. I haven't eaten breakfast yet. So whiskey's kind of catching up to me. But let's do a little sidebar here. Some things that I think you should definitely go out and pay attention to if you're a whiskey nerd like myself, or even if you're just kind of interested in making I don't know, informed. I was going to say intelligent, but that's not the word I want. Informed decision when buying a whiskey. Um, Proof is going to play a moderate role. Um, Age is not the bearer of truth and good tidings. Okay, so there's some people out there, and I'm not going to crap on you if you're one of these people, but there's some people out there who think that age is a sure sign of quality. I don't find that to be true. I've had some really good, maybe not 2 or 3 year old whiskeys, but 4, 5, and 6 year old whiskeys. I've had some not very good 20, 23-year-old whiskeys, especially in the bourbon. So I personally, and this might make people's jaws drop, I am not a fan of the Pappy Van Winkle lineup. I know everybody's out, losing their heads trying to find stuff, and if you do find it, paying absurd prices. And there is science proving that if you know the price of something, you are going to automatically convince yourself that it is better just because of the price. And I think that that is a self regulating justification mechanism that we have that, like, hey, maybe if something was more difficult to achieve, that automatically makes it better. Well, okay, if you're out buying something, you're not really achieving something. Maybe there's the chase trying to find the bottle. Okay, that's an achievement if you're actually able to find the bottle. But the price that you pay, how much did you have to work to make the money to buy that bottle? That's the achievement part of it. If you pay more for the bottle, you worked harder to make the money to accumulate to buy that bottle. Therefore, it's more satisfying. You get more pleasure out of something higher priced. That is proven science. There's several studies that show that to be true. With that said, I cannot agree with that in price. There's a video out there somewhere that I made. I don't even remember which one it is, talking about price and whiskey and how price, especially in the whiskey market, is not derived from quality. It's derived from rareness. And rareness can be brought about in a couple different ways. The older something is, the more rare it is for two reasons. Number one, all the other casks that were set aside for that age have to make it to that age, meaning they haven't been picked through. So something that's 23 years old, that means you've had 23 years worth of opportunities to pick that barrel to mix it into something else. So how many barrels are you actually going to let sit there for 23 years untouched? The answer is very few. Secondly, as that barrel ages, especially depending on climate, but most often, the angel share, that's the evaporation through the barrel, because a barrel's porous to some degree, you're going to lose some of that whiskey. When you lose that whiskey, that means you have less of it to start with and less of it to bottle. So if you have a 55-gallon cask and then you age it for 23 years and you open it up and there's only 20-something gallons left in there, you have a lot less, right? So those two factors kind of play into the fact that the older something is, the less of it there is. The less of something, the more rare. The more rare, the more expensive, because people can't get it. There's not that much of it. So, long story longer, that is one of the reasons why old stuff is expensive and why people think that it is, because it is expensive, that it is better. My experience has been the Pappy lineup, 15, 20, 23. I have not been a major fan of any of the three. The 15 being my favorite. If you like oak, I will say this. It is the smoothest, creamiest, rolling flavor profile from one into the next whiskey I've ever had. That is true. And age plays a factor in that. However, the 23, in my opinion, is severely over oaked. It literally tastes like chewing on an oak stave. Now, I've never chewed on an oak stave, but I have chewed on pieces of oak, when I've been out cutting down trees and whatever else in my previous life. Grab a chunk of wood and just start gnawing on it, not eating it, but just like having a toothpick in your mouth all the time. Very accustomed to that flavor, and that is exactly what it tasted like. It just wasn't worth anywhere near the amount of money you pay for it, in my opinion. So there's all the aside I was going to talk about. So coming back to it, who knows how old this is? It's at least 4 years old. And it's had plenty of time to sit here and open up. So let's see what we get out of the glass. I get a brown sugar caramel right away. Not really getting any fruit notes, but a little bit of a floweriness in there. From the bottom of the glass, I'm getting caramel, like straight up caramel, candy caramel. Top of the glass, if you look real hard, I can pick up a little bit of a light fruit cherry. If you notice when I'm doing my nosings, I do each nostril. I try and do the top of the glass, the bottom of the glass. I try and go from up here. I try and go deep. Because all of those positions and all those things will change the way that things smell. Also, if you breathe in through your mouth and your nose at the same time, that will also change what you can smell. So there's another tip for you. Also, second aside, the last video, if you watched it, I was having trouble ending it. I was having trouble getting out of the video, so hopefully on this one, that won't be a problem. Okay, so most of the things I'm finding in the glass are fairly subdued. The 90 proof is not hitting me in the face. The ethanol is not jumping out of the glass and covering anything up. There's a cherry on that nosy note. Yeah, it's starting to shift into that cherry. A nice fruit cherry. Okay, on the taste. Okay. First things first. Go buy one of these. Because for $17, you are not going to be disappointed. 90 proof. It's a little bit bitey at the end. Kind of leads me to think it might be a little bit young. So this is probably right at the 4-year mark, 4.5 years, I'm guessing. No idea. It was very sweet, hard candy cherry forward. It moved into a little bit of a brown sugar and then a very nice oak. There was no black pepper at all. A little bit of an ethanol tinge down in my chest, back of my throat. Going into the finish, once you get over that, you hit this really nice sweet cherry finish. Cherry brown sugar. Very, very nice profile for the price point, the proof. Yeah, you really can't go wrong with that. Going back in, again, cherry, brown sugar, a little bit of a graham cracker in there. Then the ethanol ding. The ethanol ding's a little bit out of place. It's right in the middle of that profile. Goes into a finish. You get a graham cracker, cherry, brown sugar, nice fading finish that lasts for a fairly long time. Mouthfeel is kind of watery to like the low end of oily, clingy into watery. It never dries out. I got nothing bad to say about it. A very, very good bottle. Even at like $25, that's a good bottle. In the nose doesn't change. It goes more strongly into cherry and just kind of sits there. All right. Nothing negative to say. $17. I would buy this all day long. Excellent bottle. If you can get this in your area, definitely go out. Don't be thrown by the screw cap. It's definitely A-okay in my book. So drop in the comments down below. What can you find a bottle of very old Barton for in your area, if you can find it at all? Also, do you like it? Have you ever had it? What's your experience with it? I'd love to hear what you have to say about it. As I said, I had to travel out of state to find this. I had to go up to Montana. But nothing wrong with that. Keep your eyes open when you're on the road. You might find a hidden gem somewhere, and sometimes you find things at small liquor stores will have a bottle of something that's years old that they never knew they had, and they didn't know what they had when it was on the shelf. So keep your eyes open for those hidden unicorns here and there. Repeat, just make sure I was right on that. $17 even, up in Billings, Montana. As always, please like, subscribe, and comment on this. If you haven't already, please consider sharing this video or any of my other videos with your friends. I'm not on social media. I'm not pushing this out at all. Whether you see this on YouTube, bitchute, or minds.com, those are the only places that I'm advertising this and talking about this, and that you can find my videos. I have no Facebook, Instagram, any of that stuff. I don't participate in any of that in any way, shape, or form. So if you do and you know somebody who would appreciate these types of videos, please go ahead and share this video with them. I would greatly appreciate it. As always, you guys have yourselves a great day, and we'll catch you in your next video. My next video. The next video. I don't know what to say about that. We'll catch you in the next video.